Hello everyone, this is Dinkar Divakaran, founder Softwares Forever. In this video, we are going to learn about the basics of project planning. See, the project planning comes under the second stage of project management life cycle. So, why project planning? Planning is needed to identify the desired goals, reduce risk, avoid missed deadlines, and ultimately deliver the agreed product, service, or results. For example, you have to construct your house. To construct a house, what all you required? You required land to construct, you required materials, you required resource, like you have to hire a contractor or a resource to construct the house. You have to get many approvals for your home construction, and you have to have some timeline, like you have to complete your construction within 6 months or 1 year. So that is a timeline. So for this, you have to complete your home construction properly. You should do a proper planning. You will be having some budget, like within this budget you have to complete your project. That means your home construction. For that, you have to get the land within the budget. You have to get all the materials within the budget, right? You have to complete the project on time. So then only you can complete, means you can schedule the whole thing, and can complete uh, your home within the budget, right? So the proper planning is required. So for everything, like if you are doing a software project, if you're doing a construction, you're doing automation, anything, you require a proper planning for that. So what is project planning? Project planning is a discipline addressing how to complete a project in a certain time frame, usually with the defined stages and designated resources on budget. So what all we'll measure, like setting measurable objectives, planning tasks, identifying the deliverables. So these things you have to plan. So we'll understand what is planning fundamentals. So you can see like many questions: why, what, when, who, how. So why, in the sense, the big picture, why you required this project. Means you are doing a construction. Why you require that? You are doing a home construction, that you have to live there, right? And you are maybe you're paying rent. You don't want to pay that rent. You have to move to your own house. So that is why you are doing a construction. What is the deliverable and expenses? What is the overall scope? What all you required in that particular project? Means in example, it's your home. For your home, you required uh, ground floor and the first floor, or you just required the first floor. What will be your expenses? Means what is your budget? Okay. When? Start date and date. So when you are planning to start your construction and when you are going to end. Who does the work? Who is going to do that? You are going to hire the resource, or you are going for giving it to the any contractor to complete the job? And how to get there? What all the process you are going to implement to complete your house planning and this one, the house construction? So house is just an example I mentioned. So you can implement this in your software development, or any automation project, anything, like whatever you are doing, you can plan properly. So here we will see some of the project planning tools. So in detail, we will learn in different videos. So here I am just giving the basics. The Gantt chart. Gantt chart is required to track both time and the dependencies between the tasks. Gantt chart are essential tools to show different phases, tasks, and resource involved in project management. Second one is critical path method. So a critical path is a project management tool, is to find out the longest sequence of activities that must be finished on time in order for the entire project to be completed. The third one is work breakdown structure. Breaking work into smaller tasks is a common productivity technique used to make the work more manageable and approachable. As you see in the diagram, uh, so you can break down all your tasks into manageable pieces, so which will help you to manage and plan your work properly. So other planning tools are something like the documentation. Everything you have to document. Project documentation is critical during the project life cycle. That involves project scope, its schedule, and the risk analysis. Project documents helps in better understand and better risk analysis of the project. One more thing we have to add is the risk management. For that, you should have to come up with a risk mitigation plan. So that also should be done in the project planning phase. So you should try to understand what is risk and how you can solve that. Something like in as I mentioned earlier in the example home construction. So their risk is something like a material cost that may fluctuate, right? The material today there will be one price, maybe tomorrow the price may increase. So that is one risk, right? So we have to consider that in our plan as well. And here we'll understand basic project planning steps. Okay. One thing is you have to identify the stakeholders, like stakeholders, because when you go forward with your project, you have to communicate with the stakeholders. Like if you have a client, the client is one of the stakeholder, and your management team, that is the another stakeholders. So you have to have a communication plan in place, and whenever you require some help, you have to identify who is the person who can contact, okay, and who can provide these information or this help, okay. And maybe something like as you identify some risk, you have to mitigate that. So you have to identify who all are involved in that, how we can mitigate that. So everything, like in the day-to-day communication also, like in each and every milestone, you have to communicate with your stakeholders, right? So you have to identify who all are your the point of contacts, and if any escalation, to whom it should escalate it. And you have to define your scope of the project, the overall scope of the project, and prioritize the objectives to and determine the deliverables. Once you have the scope and the after prioritizing the objective, you have to determine what all needs to be delivered. Like maybe you will be delivering phase wise, right? So you have to make sure that and document everything in a project document uh, for this planning steps. So you have to determine all deliverables, and you have to create a project schedule, like when it will start and when it will end. Everything needs to be documented, and you have to have a risk analysis in place. As I told you before, the risk management plan should be there in place, and all set progress reporting guidelines. You should have a communication plan, and you have to create a reports and send it to the stakeholders who all are involved in this project. So hope you all understood the basics of the project planning. So in detail, we will cover all the project planning tools in another video. So the next part uh, we will try to analyze our project execution flow. So hope you understood the overall basics of project planning. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.